Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul is a new movie that came out this week in theaters. Now, I mentioned this before. I work in a movie theater, and I went. And when they gave us the poster for this movie, I was like, "What the shit is that?" Um, because we often get religious movies, and if you're a religious movie, I avoid you. That because the best religious movies are not made by religious people or even made specifically about religion, like Passion of the Christ. Um, you know, and, I think it's the one that Mel Gibson did. Not Mel Gibson. Forget the one Mel Gibson did. I actually hate the one Mel Gibson did. The one that Martin Scorsese directed about Jesus. That movie. You know, so these movies that are not directed and made by Christians are usually better because they're actually truthful, and there's a lot of hypocrisy in religion and a lot of those types of things that breed into their films, and a lot of also people who make religious movies who are religious, they don't really care about making a good movie. They just want to teach the word of God, and they really have no business making a movie because they're not talented at making a movie. They just have something they want to say, and really they should just stick to being a priest or a bishop or whatever the hell they do at church. So I watched this movie on Peacock, and I was very shocked by it because this is a very real movie. And what I mean by that is this is about a people who, and this is not a religious movie. It is about religion and has things to say about religion, but it is not a religious movie. It is about these people who, after they fall into some scandals, their megachurch shuts down. And their megachurch shuts down, and they're trying to reopen it, and basically all the details in that. Now, that is very real to what we see in the real world. There are a lot of mega churches, or even not to get too far into religious like talk, Catholic churches that are very famous for like doing things to little boys and harming them and all that type of stuff, right? And it's all very hypocritical nonsense, right? They're like, oh, we can't have gay people. They do weird crap to kids. But then you look at how many people that Catholic churches rape a year compared to gay people. It's a pretty big difference, right? So that's kind of the point of this movie. It's a satirical comedy to point out how a lot of religion is hypocritical. A lot of the people in religion are hypocritical. How it's an echo chamber. You know, a lot of it's also built around people who probably aren't the best of people, and yet they're trying to teach you how to live your life by the way of God and things like that. That's not to say all religion is bad, blah 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 blah. But like there is a hypocritical nature that if you're going to believe in religion that you should understand is there and prevalent, so you can make correct decisions and not listen to wrong people who teach you dangerous rhetoric. And that's basically and so I kind of appreciated this movie because again, it is very real, and the directors even talked about that was kind of their point with this movie, is to like talk about the hypocritical nature of a lot of these mega churches and things like that, how dangerous they can be, how the people involved aren't usually the best at heart or have your best interests. But it was an interesting little movie. I will say I did not watch this in theaters. I know it was $3 weekend, but I went to go see Jaws on IMAX, so I didn't have time to go watch this one. But I did watch it on Peacock, so if you have a Peacock account, it's definitely worth watching. This is a movie that is probably worth watching on Peacock. I will say, going back to the religion is hypocritical thing, this really made me laugh. So I work in a movie there, and some guy came out after this movie, and he came up to me and said, um, that movie was so unchristlike. It was horrible. It was abhorrent, and they wanted a refund because it was a rated R movie. Isn't it funny that Christians will only watch rated R movies that only fit their ideals or beliefs? They won't watch anything else. So many kids have so many kids grow up with their parents showing them. I think it's whatever the movie about Jesus. I forget the one that Mel Gibson did. Um, and so many people basically grow up with their parents showing them that film, and at a very young age, this horrific, horribly violent movie about the murder of Jesus, and it's all hypocritical nature of, oh, we can't watch a rated R film unless it specifically fits to our ideals and beliefs. And that is just such dangerous belief system when you're only following what you believe so heartedly that you can't experience anything new or explore. Honestly, if you are someone like this, I never want to hear your opinion on art because you don't know what art is. Because if you only look for the art that fits what you believe, then you're not really experiencing art and you're kind of foolish. I just thought that was funny. Also, it's just like, why are people so dumb that they can't just do a Google search? Yeah, but I could see why someone who is religious would get offended by this movie because of the fact that, like, it is making fun of the fact that religion is hypocritical in a lot of areas. It's not saying religion is bad or anything. It's not saying don't do that, don't believe in religion if or whatever. It's just pointing out, hey, there's some flaws to this, and maybe we can work those out. But if you're someone who is religious, a lot of times you don't want to ever hear anything critical because anything critical destroys everything you believe. Even though that's not the reality of it. So I just thought that was I just thought this film was really interesting and had a lot to say. It's not going to be one of my favorite movies of the year. It's not even going to be one I buy on Blu-ray. But I will say it's at least worth one to watch to kind of see what they're going for. Because it is an interesting film. And I'd like to see this director of this film maybe do another film and see what they have to say there. But this was pretty good.